Presented by Honda. At the Checkered Flag event, the real victory lap is the drive home.
Welcome to Rogers Center. A little bit of overcast, cool afternoon here in Toronto. People down next to Lake Ontario. And the roof is closed once again. Tristan Vasquez and the skipper, Alex Cora, getting ready for this ball game. The Blue Jays won the extra inning game last night, 5-3. Luke Maile had a big night, 4 RBIs, a pair of home runs, and a 3-hit game. Let's take a look at the Red Sox lineup for Alex Cora. Hanley Ramirez in the 3 spots put up good numbers against the Blue Jays. Starter Marco Estrada, .345 average with 5 extra base hits. And then Xander Bogaerts, he too has hit well against the Blue Jays. He's got a 6-game hit streak against the Jays, batting .360 with a pair of home runs. Bogaerts had a home run last night in the 4th inning against Aaron Sanchez.
Start number 8 on the season for Marco Estrada. He's 2-2 with a .521 earned run average for his career. He's 4-6 in 15 games, 13 starts versus the Red Sox. Last time out, he threw 6 innings for the 3rd time this season, and it looked like he turned the corner. He threw just about as many fastballs as changeup. His changeup was very good against Tampa Bay in that last start, and his fastball command was much better. Threw it in the right spot.
Here is Mookie Betts. First pitch of the ball game from Estrada is in there for a strike, and we are underway. That was a money pitch for Estrada last time out, that low strike with his fastball.
That's right, and it really set up that changeup. He threw 43 fastballs last time out, 41 changeups.
Betts has had his problems against Estrada. He's just 3 for 26. Mookie was 0 for 5 in the game last night. Von Copa, you could hear him say outside. He's the homemade umpire here this afternoon.
Luke Maile getting the catching again. He caught Marco in that last start versus Tampa Bay. Really mixed it up nicely.
Maile's making his 16th start behind the plate. He has gotten a chance to play a little bit more because he's swinging a great bat. Russell Martinez making his 2nd start at 3rd base this afternoon. Popped up. That's going to be out of play. It's a full count to Mookie Betts.
That last start against Tampa Bay, Marco Estrada, his separation between the fastball and the changeup on average was about 11 miles an hour, which is outstanding. His max velocity that day was 90. His max changeup was 80.
High fastball hit deep into center field. Pilar has room. Betts is retired. One away. There are always a lot of fly balls when you have Marco Estrada on the mound. It's Alfred Pilar in the outfield, and a newcomer at short.
Yeah, let's talk about Urshela. 2nd career start at shortstop. He has played just 20 innings at shortstop in his career, but his reputation is as a glove man. Outstanding glove. He can play 1st, 2nd, short, and 3rd. All the infield positions for the Blue Jays. Today, he'll get the start at shortstop.
Urshela is 26, formerly of the Cleveland Indians. Benintendi goes after that first pitch changeup. Marco has had a lot of luck against most of the hitters in this lineup. We highlighted Hanley Ramirez, who's put up good numbers against him, but there's a lot of guys that have struggled mightily against Marco.
I wanted to mention, there's a good changeup right there, the separation between his fastball and his changeup. And I think that's why he gets a lot of lazy fly balls into the outfield. That when you can establish that fastball or the changeup, you got those hitters guessing.
There's another lazy fly ball. Anthony Alford is not going to get it. Nice play by Urshela as he is able to get the ball back in. The shortstop went out. And he's able to keep Benintendi from extra bases. Heads up play by the shortstop.
Yeah, I think that's where Anthony's got to take charge in the outfield right there. That was his play and his play alone. He is coming in. He's got his eyes on it. The infielders have to back up and go out after the baseball. Take control here, run right through that. You can see he slowed down just a little bit right at the end. Didn't look like anybody called it either.
Now Alfred's got to call that ball. He has priority on that little pop-up coming in from his outfield position. Here is Hanley Ramirez after that blue base hit. Ramirez batting .345 against Estrada for his career. Fouls off the first pitch. Hanley was 0 for 5 in the game last night. He had a rough night, 3 strikeouts. He walked in the third and ran through a stop sign at third base and was thrown out at home plate. It was a big play in the game. Kevin Pillar made maybe the best play he's ever made in the outfield, and he's made a lot of good plays, but that was a terrific play, the way he backed up that ball off the wall.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with making a catch. It was backing up a play. It wasn't caught sitting there watching the play. He went over there and he backed it up and he threw a strike to the cutoff man, and that gave the Blue Jays a chance to nail that runner at the plate. As it turned out, it was the play of the game, and it helped them win the game. Game went into extra innings. If he doesn't back that ball up, Blue Jays lose that game by a run.
Estrada's ahead of Hanley Ramirez 0-2. Ramirez for the season batting .289. Benintendi can run at first. Not running here. Benintendi had a stolen base in the first inning in last night's game. He's perfect on the season at 6 for 6. Tom Goodwin, a former big league baseball player, he could run when he played, and he's helping out Benintendi get a feel for Estrada. Not quite the lead he wants yet.
Yeah, just an average lead over there. They're going to let him hit here in the first inning.
Draws the throw from Estrada.
He got back easy there. What you want to do is you want to be able to step and dive back just ahead of that throw, and Andrew got back there easily.
The Red Sox have stolen 23 straight bases against the Blue Jays, including 6 for 6 this season. Two balls and 2 strikes on Hanley Ramirez. Ramirez playing first base this afternoon.
In his career, 10 hits against Marco. You mentioned the 5 extra base hits. He's also walked 5 times and struck out 5 times. It'd be time for one of those high fastballs. Cutter.
Checked his swing, and it's a full count. You would expect Benintendi to run here, as they have been aggressive. Their RBI man is on deck, J.D. Martinez.
He ran in the first inning in yesterday's game and picked up that stolen base.
Marco has picked off 2 base runners this season. Benintendi's not running, and Ramirez strikes out. So Estrada picks up his first strikeout of the afternoon as he gets Ramirez.
He has the ability, Estrada, to throw the changeup, but then throw it to a spot. If you watched Luke Maile on that call of the play, he said, changeup, and I want this ball away. Marco has the ability to take that changeup on the outside part of the plate and get a very dangerous hitter for the second out. Most pitchers, you signal changeup, and they're just trying to get it over the plate.
J.D. Martinez goes after the first pitch. Urshela goes to second, and that's it. Easy inning for Marco Estrada. He gives up a blue base hit, strands a base runner. David Price will take the mound when we come back. Face the top of the order.
I'm probably saying, Anthony, that's your ball. You take charge and go ahead and run after that baseball. If you miss it, you've got to back up there in the outfield. Just be aggressive.
Blue Jays won 5-3 last night. 5 runs on 8 hits, and Luke Maile had a couple of home runs. Kevin Pillar down in that 5th spot. 17 doubles this season. That's the most in the major leagues. He has 23 extra base hits, and Luke Maile, big game last night here at Rogers Center. He's hitting .433 at home with 2 homers and 12 RBIs, and both of his walk-off hits have been here at Rogers Center.
Blue Jays get David Price this afternoon, and 8th start of the season for David. 2-4 with a .511 earned run average. Last time out was May the 3rd. He was skipped in his last start. Was supposed to be in New York. Just 3 2/3 innings, 9 runs, 7 of them earned. He has not won since April the 17th.
He threw a side session Thursday in New York after being scratched in his start scheduled for Wednesday. By all reports, that went well. 0-1 to Hernandez. Cutter missed up and away. Price is now 32 years old. He was the first overall pick in the draft in 2007 by Tampa Bay, out of Vanderbilt University. He grew up in Tennessee, and he has been a premier pitcher for a long time. A little excuse me grounder as Ramirez will go to the bag. 1 away. Defensively, the Red Sox have 3 center fielders in the outfield, and they've got a great one in Jackie Bradley Jr. playing center.
Yeah, they get him back after 3 days off out in center field. Red Sox have no errors this season by any of their outfielders. Their defense, he was the defensive player of the year last season for the Boston Red Sox. 20 outfield assists over the last 3 seasons. They welcome him back. He's been sitting down. His bat's been on the DL for the last couple of games, so they put Jackie back out there, but he's a fine defender.
Here's Josh Donaldson. Donaldson had a rough night last night. He got a base hit and an RBI in his first at bat, and then after that he struck out 4 straight plate appearances. The Blue Jays as a team struck out 19 times last night over the 12-inning game. There's that hard cutter down and in. That was a pitch that worked so well for Chris Sale. And he was impressive.
Basically, yeah, that's why all the strikeouts, because of Sale. Price is a little bit different. He's basically fastball cutter. That's what you're going to get from Price. A few changeups every now and then, and maybe a curveball. But everything's hard. Hard fastball, hard cutter.
Donaldson fouled that one off himself and may have gotten Vasquez with the follow-through.
Yeah. First of all, that cutter, for a right-handed batter to try and keep it fair and keep it off your shoes, you really have to hit it out in front. If it gets too close to you, this is going to happen right off of his shin. And then you're right, the backswing of Donaldson clips the catcher.
Well, the catcher has to move to his left to try to catch that inside pitch, and when he does that, he exposes that glove hand to the backswing of Donaldson. That's why the catchers get the big bucks. 1-2. Price ahead of Donaldson. Well, Price took a long time to decide on a pitch, and Donaldson asked for time.
The Red Sox started doing this last night around the 3rd inning with nobody on, going through a sequence of signs with nobody on base. And that's why there was a lot of time in between there as Price was searching for his pitch that he wanted from Vasquez. Normally with nobody on, you're going to get one sign and that's it. But the Red Sox, again, about the 3rd inning or so, they started using the sequence of signs with nobody on.
Outside.
You do that because you think someone's stealing your signs.
You know, we talk to hitters every single day of the season, and I don't know how many hitters really want to know what's coming.
At least they're not telling us that they want to know. but it's unusual. Price is in the stretch with nobody on, and they're going through all of those signs with nobody on.
Well, the reason you do that is there's so much video nowadays in the game that you don't want to allow them to pick up your signs basically just with nobody on. Alex Cora behind him, Ron Renicky, who was Cora's manager in Double-A years ago in the Dodgers system. No, Price will work to Yankees Solarte. Donaldson drew the walk. He's at first. Fly ball into center. Jackie Bradley Jr. is there. He makes the catch 2 away. David Price is in his 3rd season with the Red Sox. He signed a 7-year contract as a free agent. He initially came to the Blue Jays in that trade from the Tigers. That was a very important time in Blue Jays history as he came and went 9-1 and 11 starts for the rest of the season.
Still remember his first start here as a Blue Jay against Minnesota. I mean, it was electric in the house. Just seems like the whole team, the Blue Jay team, their game was raised. It was elevated after the Price trade.
That trade took place July 30th, 2015. Blue Jays sent 3 left-handed pitchers to Detroit. Matt Boyd, Jairo Laborte, and Daniel Norris in exchange for David Price.
Same feeling around the ball club in '92 when David Cone came aboard for the Blue Jays after a trade. Just lifts the spirits of everybody.
Way inside, ball on the strike to Justin Smoak. Price came up for the first time to the Rays in September of 2008. Pitched in 5 games, made 1 start that September. Ground ball. They'll go to first as Nunez thought about going to second, but that'll end the inning. Blue Jays going to walk, strand a runner, no score after 1.
Maile, his first career triple on Wednesday, his first couple of hits off a tough left-hander in Chris Sale, and his first multi-home run game that included this 2-run walk-off home run in the 12th inning to beat the Red Sox. And Maile's alma mater, the University of Kentucky, tweeted congratulations and reminded him that they had seen his act before. March 2012, number 16 Kentucky's junior catcher Luke Maile crushing this 2-run walk-off homer to beat number 2 South Carolina in the Southeastern Conference opener to give the Wildcats a school record 19 straight wins. And Maile asked me to tell South Carolina alum Justin Smoak Buck that we would be showing that video, to which Smoak replied in Smoak-esque fashion, quote, "Go tell Maile no one really cares." Go Gamecocks.
That is typical Justin Smoak. Tell me what happened today. That's all I want to know about. Here's Xander Bogaerts, the shortstop. He takes the first pitch strike. Bogaerts has a 6-game hit streak against the Blue Jays. Over that stretch, he's hit .360 with a pair of home runs. Bogaerts last night was 1 for 4. Got hit by a pitch in the 11th inning by Sam Gaviglio. Sam would eventually win that ball game. His first appearance in a Blue Jay uniform. He picks up a W. Jerry Meals calls Bogaerts for a strike. Right-handed starters have not fared well this year against the Boston Red Sox. As a group, they're 1-15 with an ERA at 7.11. And there are a lot of good right-handed hitters in this lineup.
And Boston has played a lot of good teams already. The only righty to beat them is Masahiro Tanaka of the Yankees. But 1-15, that's a lot of damage by the Red Sox offense.
Their team record against right-handed starters is 21-8. As a team, they have hit .310 against righty starters. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Bogaerts. Upstairs, and there's a high pop-up. Shallow center field. Pilar takes charge. The center fielder gets there and makes the catch. The Pitch Tracker is brought to you by Coors Light, official beer of Major League Baseball. Anytime you see pop-ups and lazy fly balls coming from Marco Estrada, you know he's on his game. He is messing with the timing of the hitters, and they don't square him up.
That's why the changeup, fastball, and where you throw it are so important. That last one to Bogaerts was a fastball, not letter high, and it just messed with his timing. He just wasn't able to get the ball out in front. A nice little easy pop-up. Devers hasn't had a lot of success or a lot of fun facing Estrada.
0 for 3. You could see he was confused as to where that last foul ball was. Wasn't really sure where it was. Cued off the end of his bat. He's out in front of that pitch as well. 77 miles an hour. He's thinking, I need a longer bat.
Or just wait just a little bit longer. And that's the problem and the predicament that you have. You say, okay, I got to wait. That's when Marco throws the fastball.
Maile had it hit off his catcher's mitt. 1-2 to Devers. Devers did not start in the game last night. He came on as a pinch hitter to start the 10th inning as called out on strikes facing Sam Gaviglio. Three for his last 21 and a little bit of a funk. There's another changeup. Everything has been away, and Estrada has from time to time popped that fastball inside to lefty hitters.
And again, he can do that with that changeup. He can control where he wants to throw it.
There's a foul tip, and Devers strikes out. Good job by Maile to hang on to that foul tip. Second strikeout for Marco.
Just kept throwing it slower and slower and slower. Changeup one more time. Changeup slower, and he really messes up the timing of Devers. Devers is a great fastball hitter. And when you've got a guy who can change speeds like that, look how far out in front on that front foot he is. Just messes up the timing.
Here's another good fastball hitter in Eduardo Nunez. Nunez is just 1 for 11 against Estrada. Threw him a fastball, and he was all over it. Hernandez drops the ball, and Nunez is headed for second, and he'll get there sliding in head first. That should be a single and an error charged to the right fielder. It would be the second error of the season on Hernandez.
Good fastball hitter, number one in Nunez. They throw him a fastball, and it's down and away. Not a bad pitch. But when he is a first ball, fastball type of hitter, he's waiting for it. That ball did some tricks on Hernandez. Look at it spinning off the turf, and it really handcuffs him. Did a good job of coming up and firing to second base, and then Urshela really decoyed the runner. Made it very close at second base.
So Nunez is at second with 2 outs. The batter will be Jackie Bradley Jr. He did not play in the game last night. Batting 173 for the season.
Teoscar Hernandez has 2 outfield assists. He's got a shot here and uncorks a good throw. Urshela just decoying him and made it very close at second base.
Strike 2 to Bradley Jr.
They have sat him down for a couple of days because the batting average has really suffered. Trying to get him to use the whole field. He was out here taking batting practice the other day, just trying to hit balls to left center field, stay on the ball a little bit longer.
Bradley has hit just .211 against right-handed pitching this season, 16 for 76. His 2 home runs have come against righty pitching. Another pop-up. Smoak, the first baseman, calls for it, and Estrada gives up a 2-out hit and strands a runner in scoring position. Will go to the second. Still no score. To his season. This is his 8th start of the season, and it's been a problem over his last 3 starts.
At Oakland was the first one where he pitched into the 8th inning but allowed a 3-run home run to the last batter he faced. He followed that up with 5 2/3 inning against his former team Tampa Bay and got hit for 6 runs, and then at Texas where he normally pitches really well, 9 runs, 7 of them earned in just 3 2/3 innings. I think it's just location for him right now, being able to finish his pitches and get that fastball and cutter where you need to.
It was his 3rd career start in which he had allowed 9 or more runs. That last start against Texas. Kevin Pillar takes a first pitch for strike 1. Kevin Pillar batting .318 for the season. He leads the majors with 17 doubles. Well, Vasquez really set up off the plate inside, wanting to make sure that Price finished that pitch, and he finished it too far off the plate.
It's only been 5 batters, but it looks like they really want to pound those right-handers inside. cutters and then changeups away. When he was on a few years ago, I mean, the fastball was 95, 96. He could reach back for a little more. Cutter was around 90 miles an hour. He's lost a little velocity, so he's going to have to hit those spots to be successful.
He hits that spot inside. Pilar thought it was off the plate inside.
That's what I mean about pounding those righties in with a fastball and a cutter. He can cut it inside. He can go away. Watch where all these pitches go. In, one away, and then fastball inside. As a hitter, you're thinking, is this going to be a fastball or if this is a cutter? And he got it up to 93. Picked up his first strikeout.
Russell Martin playing at third base. He went too far. Ramirez at first base rings him up. Russell did not play in the game last night as Luke Maile was behind the plate. Slow curveball. 0-2. Price began his career, as we mentioned, with the Tampa Bay Rays. He spent 7 seasons in Tampa Bay, made 170 starts, had an 82-47 record. Then he went from Tampa Bay to Detroit. That was a 3-team trade in July of 2014. Price went to Detroit. The Tigers sent Austin Jackson to Seattle. Tigers sent Willie Adames and Drew Smyly to Tampa Bay, and Seattle sent Nick Franklin to Tampa Bay. A 3-team trade mid-season. That's tough to pull off.
And it looked like it worked out for all of the teams. There's another high fastball. His GM in Detroit, who traded for him, Dave Dombrowski, who is the general manager of the Boston Red Sox, who signed him.
So Russell Martin is called out on the strikes. The same pitch that Pilar was called out on, that fastball that catches the inside corner.
I think for your righties, and you've been watching right-handed batters, take note. They've been pounding him in.
Anthony Alford will get his first at bat against David Price. In the minor leagues, you don't see that many left-handed starters. Anthony Alford's seen 2 of the best in his last 2 games.
He's going to challenge him with a fastball, I think. And if you're Alford, Anthony, look for something out over the plate.
Anthony in last night's game against Chris Sale went 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Minor league career, Anthony is trying to gain consistency at the plate and in the field. When he signed initially with the Blue Jays, he was still playing college football. So he'd play a few games in the summer and then go back to play college football. Popped up out of play. 2-2 now to the Blue Jays left fielder.
You know, on top of Sale, facing Chris Sale and David Price, Anthony was in the lineup against James Paxton. So Blue Jays have been running into some tough, and I mean tough, left-handed pitching lately.
Price is set. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Up and away. Looked like that cutter got away from him. Luke Maile, he can't wait to get to the plate. Had a terrific game last night. His first extra inning home run was his first walk-off home run of his career. Price strikes out Alfred. He strikes out the side in the second. Gets Pilar and Russell looking. Alfred swinging. No score after 2.
Fans will receive a Kevin Pillar Cape replica jersey. Join us in the 200-level WestJet flight deck as we've created an oasis dedicated to pampering Mom. Then sit back and watch the series finale between the Blue Jays and the Red Sox at 1:07 p.m. Eastern. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Mother's Day is always a great day. The teams will have pink bats and pink spikes, pink hats and uniforms, and the moms will be treated extra special on Mother's Day. There's that good low fastball strike. Christian Vasquez, he hasn't gotten it going at the plate yet, batting 184, just 18 for 98.
There will come a time, I think, that he will be able to help this team offensively. And when you watch his approach at the plate, it's pretty good. Blue Jays are playing him to hit the ball the other way. Everybody else pretty much straight up, but his mechanics at the plate aren't bad. There's the defense. You see Pilar shifted over towards right center field. Teoscar Hernandez shading him to the line. Tells me that they might keep the ball away from Christian Vasquez.
Vasquez hit 290 last year, had a career high 32 ribbies. Changeup down and away for a ball. Vasquez had Tommy John surgery, something you don't hear that often with catchers. Matt Wieters also had Tommy John surgery, came back from it. Vasquez still has a very good arm. Lazy fly ball left. Alfred a couple of stutter steps, gets there and makes the catch. 1 out. So Estrada's doing his thing so far. He's been good at disrupting the timing of the Red Sox lineup. First time through the order.
Yeah, his last start, he got some ground balls when he needed to, especially. They got a couple of double plays turned behind him, but for the most part, they were strikeouts and easy, lazy fly balls against him.
Back to the top of the order, Mookie Betts makes a cutter down in the dirt. Marco is in his 11th big league season. He was drafted by the Nationals out of Long Beach State out in California. And then the Brewers claimed him off waivers in February of 2010. Blue Jays picked him up in a trade in November of 2014 for Adam Lynn, the left-handed first baseman DH. Betts hits it down the left field line. He's turning around first, headed for second. Here's the throw from Alfred. Not in time. Mookie Betts picks up his first hit of the series.
I think he was bound and determined, Betts, to pull that ball. It was another changeup down and away. He's got such great hand-eye coordination and quick hands that he can pull an outside changeup like this. Stays back long enough, gets enough on it, and runs this into a double. 28 extra base hits now for Mookie Betts.
His 14th double. He has 13 homers and 1 triple. Benintendi ducks away from an up and in fastball. Benintendi had a pop-up base hit that dropped in front of the left fielder his first time up. We got some of the best extra base hitters in this ball game when you see Mookie Betts now with 28. Ozzie Albies a second baseman for the Braves, 26, and then Kevin Pillar. He's right there with A.J. Pollock, fine center fielder of the Diamondbacks.
That all goes into having the highest slugging percentage in baseball. I mean, when you think of slugging percentage, you think of what? Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Manny Machado. It's that guy right there.
Came in the game with a .772 slugging average. His OPS over 1. 3-0 to Benintendi. Takes a fastball strike.
I'll take bat speed over strength any day. Guys who are fast and are quick, you can wait so much longer. You're just a better hitter if you've got bat speed. Guys with straight power, and there he goes.
Betts takes off for third, and he's going to score easily as Benintendi hits it up the alley, and that bounces over the wall for a ground rule double. Mookie Betts had third base stolen. He got a running start, but he will score on the RBI double by Benintendi. That's the first run of the ball game.
Too close to take. I think if you're Andrew Benintendi, you can't keep your eye on that hitter. But it's a changeup out over the plate, and he one-hops it over the wall. He's got some bat speed too. Look at that sweet swing to left center field. But guys who are big and strong, you can pitch to them. Guys with quick bats, you can't get the ball by them.
Back-to-back doubles with 1 out here for the Red Sox. Ramirez fouls the first pitch back. Hanley is 0 for 6 so far in these 2 games. He struck out on a changeup his first time up. The Red Sox have broken out on top, scoring here in the top of the third. Fly ball deep to left field, and that ball is gone. Hanley Ramirez, home run number 6. And the Red Sox, with 3 extra base hits here in the third, have taken the lead.
Hanley Ramirez came into this series red hot with the bat, especially in the power numbers. You mentioned the career numbers that he has had against Marco Estrada. Struck him out his first time up, tried to slip a fastball by him here. That's a 4-seam fastball, then just catches the inner half. He had homered a couple of times in the series against New York. That's his first home run in this series, and it just cleared the wall in left field.
Ramirez, home run number 6. RBIs 25 and 26 on the season.
Put him in that third spot today, and he gets a pitch to his liking.
Ramirez hitting .421 with runners in scoring position. And he cashed in with Benintendi standing in second.
Second career home run against Marco Estrada. His 11th hit against him.
J.D. Martinez hit into a fielder's choice to end the top of the first. This is the 7th start Estrada has made against the Red Sox here at Rogers Center. The Ramirez home run, just the 4th he has allowed to the Red Sox.
It's a powerful group. And both of these teams hit their share of home runs.
Off the plate with that breaking ball, 3-2 to Martinez. Xander Bogaerts waits on deck. 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. He lost him with that high pitch. That's the first walk issued by Estrada. Home runs, the Red Sox now with 53. The Angels lead the pack 56. Blue Jays are second, tied with the Indians. They both have 55. And the Red Sox and the Yankees. A lot of power in those teams. Of course, the Angels have Trout, Pujols, and Ohtani. The Blue Jays have a number of guys that can hit home runs.
Justin Upton's on that Angels team. I think he has 9 home runs this year. Blue Jays really spreading the wealth when it comes to home runs. 3 of those top 5 teams all in the American League East.
Bogaerts goes after the first pitch. Mookie Betts leads the majors with 13 home runs. Manny Machado of the Orioles has 12. As does Joey Gallo and Mike Trout. Jose Ramirez has 11 with the Indians. But Mookie Betts is the guy you really look at and say, wow, Mookie Betts, he's not as big as Stanton or Judge, but he's got quick hands and a fast bat. Estrada got Vasquez to start the inning, then Betts doubled, Benintendi doubled, Ramirez homered. And now J.D. Martinez drew the walk. He's at first. 3-0 Boston. Bench coach Ron Renicky talking to Mookie Betts. Tim Hires next to Renicky as the hitting coach. It's a high changeup. Marco has had his problems pitching against the American League East. Last year he went 6-6 against the East in 18 starts with a .522 earned run average. This is his 6th start of the season against the American League East. Shallow fly ball into left center. Anthony Alford calls for it, makes the catch. Bogaerts is retired.
The Honda Checkered Flag event is back. Hurry in to grab the Civic that matches your game.
Saturday afternoon in Toronto. The roof is closed. It is an overcast and cool afternoon. Nice and comfortable inside. Rafael Devers, he doesn't know what to do against Estrada.
Look for the changeup. That's when they'll cross him up and start throwing fastballs, but he's really got him talking to himself, really got him thinking to himself right now. He's 21 years old. He'll turn 22 in October, and I'll tell you, he's young in terms of baseball experience. He's never had to face a pitcher like this.
He keeps thinking, okay, now I'm waiting for that changeup, and he's still out in front of him. Marco's had a long inning. This next pitch will be his 30th pitch of this third inning. Pitch number 63. That's been a problem and a concern for the Blue Jays all season long.
Yeah, if you have 100 pitches to work with and you average about 20 an inning, by my math, that's 5 innings. And they've had to go to the bullpen.
Inside, he just missed. 2-2 now. Joe Biagini is with the ball club, and he's down in the bullpen today. John Gibbons will use him if necessary, and if he has to use him, they'll work things out for the start tomorrow. But he is tentatively scheduled to start that game tomorrow.
Yeah, we caught a glimpse of him down in the bullpen. They were talking about that this morning, that they don't have a quote long man after the great job by Gavilio last night. There's Joe. So if they don't need him today, he'll start tomorrow.
Gavilio picked up his first win of the season with 3 excellent innings of relief. Coming back in our direction, but it'll fall short into the 200 level. Pete Walker, you can see he's studying that pitching chart, seeing what he's got down in the bullpen, where he's at in the ball game. Estrada's now thrown 66 pitches with 2 outs in the third. Devers is hanging in there. In New York, the A's and the Yankees are into extra innings. 6-6 in the 10th. The A's have 6 runs on 6 hits.
Ball's flying out of Yankee Stadium today, isn't it?
Chris Davis hit a 3-run home run, his 11th. Devers strikes out. Estrada gets out of the inning, but the Red Sox break through, take a 3-0 lead. Luke Maile will lead things off for the Blue Jays. Had a big game last night. He's hit .433 at home this season with a couple of home runs. He'll start things off against David Price when we come back. Community partners, welcome to the ballpark, and you've got the best seats in the house right now. And here is Luke Maile, the offensive hero of the game last night. His first multi-home run game of his career. Luke went 3 for 4 with a walk. He had a game-tying home run in the 7th and a game-winning home run in the 12th. Batting .339 for the season. confidence. Boy, you can see the difference in Maile's approach at the plate. He got off to a good start this season, and that confidence has served him well.
No panic at the plate. You know, when you're not doing well, or you try to force the action, get something going, you start swinging at everything. Right now, he's locked in. It's been a year so far of firsts for Luke. You mentioned the triple. You mentioned the first walk-off, multi-home run game. He also has a stolen base. Now, that's not his first stolen base of his big league career. It's his second.
You mentioned the Yankees and the ball flying out of Yankee Stadium. Gary Sanchez hit his 10th home run today. It's the first time in Yankees history they've had 3 players reach 10 or more home runs before the team's 40th game.
I was watching that home run today down in the clubhouse. It was a bomb.
What a team they have. They have everything covered. Gio Urshela will get his first at bat as a Blue Jay following Maile. 3-2 to Maile. Good cut. John Gibbons has had to improvise. He had his regular shortstop, Ledmus Diaz, sprain an ankle. Ledmus is doing very well. We had a chance to talk to him today. He has done a good job of recovering. He's going to go to Florida tomorrow and start to continue his baseball activity, start to run, play in some exhibition games.
Says he's going to start running, and that's the first step, if you will. There's a hard cutter.
So that'll bring Gio Urshela, 26-year-old from Cartagena, Colombia. Urshela was picked up in a deal from Cleveland. He was injured and was about to be activated. They were out of options, so they got to keep him in the big leagues. And they had Eric Gonzalez filling his role in Cleveland, so he became available, and the Blue Jays picked him up.
Known for his glove, but got a little power.
Goes after that first pitch, and Price throw him a cutter. There are currently 6 major league players from Colombia. The catcher for Philly, Jorge Alfaro. A relief pitcher in Miami, Tehran Guerrero. Jose Quintana of the Cubs. He's from Colombia. Jonathan Solano, a catcher with the Nats. Julio Tehran, a fine starter from Atlanta, and Urshela.
Maybe a change of scenery will do him good. He just couldn't get the consistent playing time over in Cleveland. Too many good young players. Now he'll get the start at shortstop, and they want to see what he can do at shortstop.
He got a base hit in his first big league at bat. Welcome to the Blue Jays. That snaps a string of 4 straight strikeouts recorded by Price, and that's the first hit of the ball game for the Blue Jays.
Reached out and pulled that cutter. Was able to get it by Bogaerts to shortstop. There's the cutting action, and he's able to go out and hook that ball. Watch the catcher Vasquez after that base hit, upset.
Urshela is now 3 for 7 against David Price. Back to the top of the order. Teoscar Hernandez grounded out on a soft grounder to the first baseman his first time up. Goes after the first pitch. Hernandez has got a couple of ties to that Red Sox dugout. When he was with Houston, Alex Cora was the bench coach, and he kind of took him under his wing and mentored him a bit during spring training a year ago. And Carlos Fablis, the third base coach, was his manager in winter ball. Base hit over the second baseman into center. Urshela will stop at second. So 2 aboard with 1 out.
He has really gotten into a groove hitting that inside pitch. They tried to bust that cutter in there, and he does such a good job of pulling his hands. And watch how he gets his hands in. He still can get the big part of the bat on that baseball. A lot of times guys will break their bat trying to pull that ball. Teoscar says, I want to pull my hands in and just bang it back through the middle.
So 2 aboard for Josh Donaldson. The Blue Jays trail 3-0. Donaldson walked his first time up. Vasquez, the catcher, going through a series of signs for Price. Outside indicator tapping his left arm. That could be which sign is the hot sign. Then he goes through a series of signals.
And they were doing this last night. Now with the runner at second base, they're going to go through all kind of signs. You know, when you play somebody 19 times, you play them year in and year out. There's veterans on both of these teams. You can't keep doing the same thing. They're going to pick up on it. You mentioned the video that's out there. Every team has video. They got the same shots that we're showing you right here. So they can look at all of these signs here and say, okay, maybe it's the second sign. Then you go through all of that, and now you're set.
93, but well upstairs for ball 2. Donaldson has not homered since game 2 of the doubleheader on May 3rd in Cleveland. That was against Adam Pletko. He had 2 home runs that afternoon and evening in the doubleheader. He also had a pair of doubles. His first game off the disabled list. Two-2 pitch. Drilled right to the shortstop, and that's going to be a double play. Urshela had the duck to get out of the way of that line drive, and by then he had no chance to get back to second.
Out running the bases, laying down bunts, and taking some cuts in the cage ahead of the Blue Jays series against the Mets next week. Bench coach DeMarlo Hale told me that unlike the National League, where all the pitchers took part in these kind of things, they only had the 2 starters for the short series, Jay Happ and Jaime Garcia, come out. Now it's for the relievers. John Axford, Jake Petrichka, and Sam Gaviglio were asked to take part because, according to Hale, those were the 3 possible arms who could be called upon to pitch multiple innings. So after the Monday off day, Buck, we're all going to be at Citi Field for the first of 2 against manager Mickey Callaway and his New York Mets.
Yeah, and it's important to get these hitters up there. Of course, both Garcia and Happ have played in the National League, so they have hitting experience, but you've got to get him back out there and run the bases. Remember Chen-Ming Wong when he was playing for the Yankees? He was the most dominant pitcher in the major leagues at that point. He injured himself running the bases in an interleague game.
He was never the same.
Never the same. He had 38 wins in 2 seasons back to back, and then he injured his leg and he was basically done.
Here's all you have to tell the pitchers when they're on the bases. Keep making a left-hand turn. That's it. No right-hand turns.
Estrada's ahead of Eduardo Nunez 0-2. For the season, this has been a tough inning for Estrada. His ERA in the 4th inning is 6.43. Another soft fly ball into center. Pilar waits on it and makes the ground. 1 away. So Marco, coming off a good outing his last time out, ran into a little bit of trouble in the 3rd. With 1 out, he gave up a double to Betts, a double to Benintendi, and a 2-run home run to Hanley Ramirez. So he needs to regroup and get it back on track.
Well, if he throws pitches the rest of this inning like he did against Nunez, it's going to be a quick inning. He made some beauties to Nunez and got the guy who hit a home run, or excuse me, got a hit his last time up, to fly out weakly.
Changeup right at the bottom of the zone. Another good changeup. Estrada's done a good job of selling that changeup. Hanley Ramirez hit a fastball for his 2-run home run. Out of play. Been a real struggle for the Red Sox center fielder Jackie Bradley Jr. over his last 50 at bats, has struck out 24 times coming into this game. 5 for 50, a 100 average.
He's better than that. He's had some decent years. Blue Jays are going to play him in the pull with 3 infielders on the right side. Fastballs up have really hurt him. With 2 strikes, get it above the letters. I missed.
He's got a piece of it to stay alive.
Marco missed his spot. They wanted that one up with 2 strikes. He missed, and fortunately he fouled it back.
Bradley Jr. had a good season in 2016. He was an all-star for the first and only time in his career. He lays off that high pitch. That season for the Red Sox, he had 267 with 26 home runs and 87 RBIs.
Started in left field in the All-Star game. He's a good player. Just going through a little bit of a rough patch right now. But that's the beauty of the Red Sox. If a guy's not swinging the bat, they've got enough players that they can plug in and move around. Give a guy a day off or 2.
3-2 pitch cued off the end of the bat. You saw Christian Vasquez, the catcher, waiting on deck. Jackie Bradley Jr. is now 28 years old. He just turned 28 in April. They have a lot of good young athletes on this team. 2-way players, defensive players, and good hitters. Estrada strikes Bradley out with a fastball. It's 4 strikeouts for Marco.
The Lawn and Garden event is on now until May 15th. Only at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Here's how.
Finally looking like spring around at Rogers Center. The flowers have popped. Number 9 hitter is Christian Vasquez. He goes after the first pitch. Another lazy fly ball into center field. Pilar makes the catch. Marco Estrada had a good inning in the 4th. 3 up, 3 down. When we come back, it'll be Solarte, Smoak, and Pilar trying to break through against David Price.
in the office or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Buck.
MLB.tv would allow you to go into New York and watch what's going on there. It's 6-6, bottom of the 11th. Baltimore playing a doubleheader. They are leading the Rays 6-3 in the top of the 8th. The crosstown matchup between the Cubs and the White Sox are in the bottom of the 2nd, and the Cubbies have a 4-0 lead over the Southsiders.
And Detroit has a doubleheader today against Seattle, the Mariners. And don't they have an interesting setup there, Seattle, today?
Scott Service is away to attend the graduation of his daughter in college, and Manny Acta has taken over as the acting manager, and their bench coach is an interesting guy.
Ichiro gets his first taste of coaching. He's going to be the bench coach today for both games.
Ichiro, the bench coach, in his role as a assistant to the general manager. Now he's an assistant to the manager. Solarte takes one inside. It's a ball and a strike on the Blue Jays second baseman. Hernandez set a Blue Jays franchise record for that doubleheader in Cleveland. He had 8 hits in the 2 games, one more than Paul Molitor had, which was the record, most hits in a doubleheader by a Blue Jays player. He and Donaldson also homered in each end of the doubleheader. Solarte had a grand slam home run in extra innings in game 1 to knock home the winner. Donaldson had a home run in each of the 2 games as well. First time Blue Jays teammates have ever homered in both ends of a doubleheader. One ball, 2 strikes. Line drive left field, and Benintendi is there to make a nice catch. Looked like a hit all the way. We talked about the outfield for the Red Sox. They have not committed an error, and they have 3 center fielders manning the outfield.
They've been pitching Solarte tough. He thinks he has a base hit right here, but Benintendi made up his mind right away. You could see how aggressive he was. He says, you know what, I got to go after that ball. I'm going to be aggressive with it. And when you're aggressive in the outfield, you end up making these great plays. If there's any hesitation, that ball's falling.
Justin Smoak takes a curveball for strike 1. The 4th inning has been a rough inning for David Price as well. His ERA in the 4th inning this season, 7.94. And the Blue Jays are in the middle of their lineup. Price not showing any issues with his wrist at all. He was scratched from his last start that was supposed to take place Wednesday in New York against the Yankees. Changeup off the plate. 2-1 to Smoak. Justin grounded out to the second baseman his first time up. Blue Jays have just 2 hits. They came back to back, Urshela and Hernandez in the 3rd. Price is a 5-time All-Star. He won the Cy Young Award in 2012 when he went 20-5 with a sparkling .256 earned run average. He's thrown over 200 innings 5 different times in his career.
You can see how he can reach back in 95 when he needs to. Little cutter here, a little changeup there. We've seen a few curveballs. Still has to spot that fastball, but if he needs something, he's got a little something extra waiting.
Interesting thing for Alex Cora. Price and Sale 1 and 2, terrific pitchers. Ball 4. Price thought it was a good pitch. But the Red Sox as a team are 8-8 when Price and Sale start. Pretty surprising, given their individual success over their careers. It hasn't been such a great formula this season for Boston.
And the team that's playing behind them, too. Pretty good offensive team.
So Kevin Pillar now will bat with a man at first and just one out. Pillar was called out on an inside fastball. He thought it was off the plate inside. That was the first strikeout for Price, and began a string of 4 straight. Pillar goes after that first pitch cutter. It's about time for Kevin's daily double. He's got 17 doubles. He had one in the 9th inning and was thrown out trying to advance to 3rd. He would also get a base hit in the 11th. What's your thoughts on Pillar trying to stretch a double into a triple with 1 out in the 9th in last night's game?
I got no problem with that. He's been around this game long enough to know the situation and his own abilities if he could make it. And that's the time to gamble. You don't want to make the first or the 3rd out over at 3rd base, but you can gamble to try and get there with less than 2 outs and then win the game on a long fly ball. And I'm telling you, it was a whisker. I mean, that's how close it was over at 3rd base.
Yeah, I thought it was a great risk taken. Go ahead and chance get to 3rd base, but they made a terrific play. Brock Holt made a great relay throw to the 3rd baseman, Nunez.
You got to know yourself, and you got to know the situation. If you're an above average runner, and he's an above average runner, I think you take that chance. You force that defense to make a super play. If they make a super play, okay, that happens. But if they're not perfect, you're going to be safe.
0-2 to Pillar. Ground ball. Bogaerts will go to second just in time to get Smoak. One out now. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Well, the Yankees had lost 2 straight, and everybody was up in arms in New York saying, what's going on with the Yanks? But they come back and win it in extra innings.
He might end up being a valuable player for them. Walker. Greg Bird has started a rehab, and so he might be back soon. Neil Walker is starting taking some ground balls at 3rd base. He can play second. He can play first. He might be the most versatile player on that team.
Russ Martin takes a first pitch strike inside now. Isn't it funny how a player's fortunes can turn around in an instant? Brandon Drury got off to a great start. Then he went on a disabled list with migraines. Then Miguel Andujar came up, and he's taken over at 3rd base.
Raking, absolutely raking. There's still a time where a tough righty might be on the mound, and Aaron Boone might want Neil Walker to play 3rd base. He's a switch hitter. So you put him in there batting left-handed against a tough righty and give the young kid a chance to have a day off. That's how you have to think, right? When you start to get all your players back, you start thinking of situations and people that you're going to be facing, lineups.
How you can best utilize your roster. Certainly Walker has an advantage of being a switch hitter and capable of playing multiple positions. 2-2 on Russ Martin. Blue Jays trying to get back in it here in the 4th. They trail 3-0. Red Sox scored all 3 runs in their half of the 3rd. Pillar hit into a fielder's choice. He's at first base now with 2 outs. Full count. So there are 2 away. That means Pilar will be moving on the pitch. If Martin can reach base, Anthony Alford will bat against Price. Price has allowed just 2 hits. He's also walked 2. Ball 4. Third walk issued by Price as Martin takes ball 4, and that'll get Anthony Alford to the plate. I have a chance to look around baseball, and we mentioned the Orioles are playing a doubleheader against Tampa Bay. Manny Machado is at a home run for the 3rd straight game. That's tied for the 2nd longest streak of his career. He hit in 4 straight back in 2015. But you talk about a guy putting on a show for his free agency.
Every home run, every hit, you can just hear the bank go ching-ching.
Baltimore leads that game 6-3. Here's Anthony Alford. Takes one upstairs for a ball. Price has walked 3. His season high. He has walked 4 twice this season. 2 starts ago against his former team, the Rays, he had 4 walks in 5 2/3. Ball 2. Price also walked 4 in his 3rd start of the season. That's when he had the tingling feeling in his hand and left the game after just 1 inning. That was against the Yankees at Fenway Park. When he left, the score was 4-1 New York, but he had 4 walks in just that 1 outing.
4 runs in that 1 inning.
Base hit up the middle. Pilar's being waved around 3rd. Jackie Bradley Jr. will not make the throw. Anthony Alford has his first RBI of the season.
You know, I don't care where you are hitting in the lineup against these stacked lineups in the American League. You start walking guys and you're just asking for trouble. A 1-out walk to Smoak, a 2-out walk to Russell Martin sets a couple of runners on, and he's going to cough up a run. Changeup down and away to Alfred. That's where they have thrown him today. Muscles the ball off the end of the bat into center field.
Anthony Alford has David Price in his book now. That's the first big league RBI for Anthony Alford, and it comes off a former Cy Young Award winner, David Price. And the Blue Jays are on the board. Congratulations, Anthony. Kevin Pilar scored from 2nd. Well, you get those extra opportunities because of the base on balls. You better cash them in against good pitchers.
That's right. And the Blue Jays did a good job, especially Smoak, to get that first walk. There were a lot of close pitches. And Smokey ends up walking to start this rally. Now he's got to deal with the man of the hour.
Here's the magic man, Luke Maile. His career high in RBIs is 15. He's got 14 now. Batting .333 for the season.
And even better when you've got runners in scoring position.
Maile's got to be thinking, hey, that first one was a ball. The second one looked like the same pitch. 9 for 18 this season with men in scoring position. Keeping that ball up to Maile. Staying upstairs, not wanting to throw Maile anything down.
By design. That is by design. You might think, well, maybe he's getting tired. Nope, that's by their scouting reports say we got to pump fastballs up.
Good cut. Out straight back. It's 2-2 now to Maile. Luke had those 15 RBIs back in 2016 while playing with Tampa Bay. He had 15 RBIs and 119 at bats. He's got 14 in just 60 at bats this season.
You're talking about the walk-off home run that he hit last night. They were talking about some of the Boston people, a home run he hit to beat them when he was a member of the Tampa Bay Rays. It wasn't the first time he's done that.
One pitch down and in, and that's all Price needed for the strikeout. Blue Jays get on the board. They strand a pair of runners. We'll go to the fifth. Now time for a Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Joe Siddle in the Samsung Broadcast Studio.
Will receive this Let's Go Blue Jays bath towel presented by Boston Pizza. Then watch your Blue Jays host the Oakland Athletics at 1:07 p.m. Eastern. That's your start time. For tickets, visit bluejays.com.
We move to the top half of the fifth inning. The Red Sox have a 3-1 lead. Anthony Alford with his first big league RBI gets the Blue Jays on the board. David Price walked 2 in the inning. Kevin Pillar comes in to score. It's now a 3-1 game.
Need a shutdown inning. Get that run back, get a shutdown inning, go right back to work offensively.
Marco Estrada sat on a bench for 20 minutes while the Blue Jays got to David Price a bit. They scored a run, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets back into the flow of this ball game here in the fifth.
He was good last inning. Made some good pitches to the bottom third of the order.
Fair ball. Long throw. Russell Martin looked like he's played third base his whole life. And a terrific game at third base on Wednesday. Played that game against the Mariners and had 6 assists at third.
Yeah, gets to this ball, but I like the arm. Watch how he sets and comes right over the top and hits Smoak right in the chest. He has really shown off a very strong arm over at third base. That ball had some carry on it as it went across the diamond.
When a catcher plays an infield position, a gifted athlete like Russell Martin, it's like a day off. First of all, you don't have to think about calling the game. Secondly, you don't have to wear all that equipment. And third, you don't have to take any foul tips. He's having fun out there playing third.
You just worry about your hitting, right? When you're not catching, just think about your offense.
Popped up. Maile will give it a look, but it appears as though it's over the screen, out of play. Benintendi is 2 for 2. He had a bloop single in the first, a pop-up that fell in front of the outfielder Anthony Alford, and then he had a double he ripped to the wall in left center, an RBI double in the third. Rolls over on that changeup. Solarte will throw to Smoak. Hanley Ramirez back in the third inning with a man aboard.
Tried to slip that fastball by him. Struck him out his first time up. Tried to get the fastball by him, and he's been in a nice little homer streak for the Red Sox. That's at least 3 on this road trip that he has hit.
High fly ball. Hernandez in right. He's got room. Good inning for Marco Estrada. He retires the top 3 in the order. 1, 2, 3. No problem. Urshela, Hernandez, and Donaldson when the Blue Jays come back.
Night that snapped an 0 for 28 slump, a relief, according to interpreter Josue Pele. Morales said he's been hitting the ball hard lately, but with no luck. He's happy that he finally got one in there because nothing's been going right for him. I asked Morales who a 12-year veteran turns to when he's going through a rough patch. He told me, look, anyone who's able to give me information on what I can do to improve. It doesn't matter if it's a rookie, another veteran, a coach, anyone watching from the dugout who can give me some insight. So how has he dealt with the fan criticism? Morales said he doesn't read the papers because they're in English, but he does sense the discontent. But he knows they don't know what he's going through, how much he is trying to get better. Quote, it's not easy. This is a tough game. At the end of the day, if the team wins, I'm happy. Buck?
Yeah, he's got a veteran mindset for sure. He has had a lot of success in his big league career. Kendricks is now 34 years old. He'll turn 35 in June. But for his career, he's a .267 hitter, and you would expect that that's going to turn around and get somewhere close to that.
With power, too. I mean, it looked like he was coming out of it when the team was in Minnesota. He hit a couple of home runs in that series.
Giovanni Urshela had a base hit his first time up, his first game with the Blue Jays. Urshela played in AAA Columbus for the Indians. He had .324 with 4 doubles and 7 RBIs. That hit against Price was his 3rd hit. Price is ahead, a ball and 2 strikes. The one blemish on David Price's resume is his postseason record. He's 2-8 in the postseason with a .503 earned run average. He's appeared in 17 postseason games and has made 9 starts. Price strikes out Urshela. 6 strikeouts now for the lefty.
Pretty good fastball right there to get Urshela. That's 6 strikeouts now. The Super Slow-Mo is brought to you by the Samsung S9 and S9 Plus. The camera reimagined. Available now. David Price heating up with that fastball away. Remember, it was a cutter that he was able to get in front of and hit into left field.
Leadoff man is Teoscar Hernandez. He goes high and deep to left. Get up, ball. Get up, ball. Get out of here. Off the wall. Hernandez better hustle. They got a play on him, but the throw is offline. Teoscar thought that ball was out of the ballpark and didn't really bust it out of the box, but he's able to get to second with his 11th double of the season.
Well, he hit that ball so hard, he got top spin on the ball. If he backspins it, that ball's into the stands. Watch this pitch. It's up. It's a breaking ball. He top spins it, and now I think he realizes right there that that ball is not going to go out. It hits off the top of the wall. Benintendi plays it perfectly, and the throw's a little wide, and that allows him to get into second base for another extra base hit.
That's the 4th hit for the Blue Jays, and Donaldson now will bat with a runner in scoring position. Little chopper up the third base line. Price will plant and fire to first. Donaldson's retired on 1 pitch. Hernandez moves to third, but now there are 2 outs.
The 2018 Civic Type R, like no Honda you've ever seen.
Saturday afternoon at Rogers Center. A lot of people enjoy the Jays shop, picking up some new merchandise. We'll be back here tomorrow afternoon, a 1 o'clock local start. Joe Biagini is the scheduled pitcher for the Blue Jays, and probably now, since we're in the 5th inning, he will start tomorrow. Solarte goes after the first pitch. We mentioned the Yankees won an extra innings. Neil Walker's 4th career walk-off hit. And you talk about Walker being an asset. He's hitting .346 in the month of May. 4 walk-off hits for the Yankees are the 2nd most in baseball. The Cardinals have 5. Yankees had just 5 walk-off hits all season last year. They already have 4. Ball and a strike to the Blue Jays second baseman.
Solarte was robbed of a hit his last time up. That was that bullet he hit out to the left fielder. Benintendi got a good jump on it and shoestring catch. That saved him a run. Blue Jays ended up scoring a run last inning.
Off the plate inside. The Red Sox are 9-10 in their last 19 games. Remember, they got off to a great start. They went 17-2 to begin the season. And everybody said, oh, the Red Sox, they're just going to win everything now. Well, things have slowed down for Boston. Price and Vasquez having a hard time getting on the same page with the next pitch. High pop-up behind shortstop. Bogaerts backing up, makes the catch, and the Blue Jays leave a base runner at third base. Hernandez got a double, but they left him on. Price still has the lead. things off. He is 0-for-1 with a walk, and he's not the only JD in this ballpark tonight. We got a pair of JDs, and they're both pretty good hitters.
Yeah, since 2015, look at the numbers. Two of the better sluggers in the American League. JD Donaldson, and JD Martinez. Look at the home runs, 116 for Donaldson, 114 for Martinez. And JD Martinez came out of nowhere. Remember, he was part of the Houston Astros organization, and a few seasons ago, they just flat out released him in spring training.
March 22nd, 2014, he got released by Houston, and 2 days later, he signed with the Tigers. And that's when he really started to develop as a hitter. He had a terrific second half to his season last year after going to Arizona. He went to Arizona on the 18th of July from Detroit for 3 minor leaguers. And he made himself a boatload of money with that great second half.
Just never know when a guy's going to get it. I remember reading an article about JD Martinez the winter before his last season in Houston, how he figured something out offensively during winter ball with his hands. Said, okay, I'm going to do it, and had a good spring, but that still didn't convince the Astros. They let him go. The Tigers were the ones fortunate enough to pick him up, and that's where he really established himself as a big leaguer. Stands way off the plate, but can still reach that outside pitch.
Can't come up with that one. That's a changeup away, and Estrada has another strikeout that gives him 5 to this point. Marco, the only hiccup he's had this afternoon came in the 3rd inning. Back-to-back doubles and then a 2-run home run that has given the Red Sox the 3 runs. Jake Petrichka appears to be ready in the Blue Jays bullpen. Xander Bogaerts, he's popped out twice. Bogaerts is now 3 for 28 against Marco Estrada. He hasn't quite figured him out yet. Well, you know, Pat, as a hitter, you know you're going to get a changeup. You tell yourself, okay, I got to wait. Okay, I got to wait. Okay, that's long enough. Nope, not long enough.
You know, and if you put doubt in your own mind, and what I mean by that is, I know I'm going to get a changeup, but maybe I'll get a fastball.
Yeah.
If you put doubt in your mind up there, that's when you're really in trouble. I think you have to just go up there with a plan.
There's a high fastball. He tomahawks it, and that's going to go all the way to the fence in center field. Alfred plays it back in, and Estrada trying to get him to go after that high fastball. He did, and he connected for the double, his 12th double of the season, and that extends his personal hit streak to 7 straight games against the Blue Jays.
Both of his flyouts were on high fastball, and they went right back there hoping to get the same thing, but he stayed back. If your plan is, I'm going to just sit on a changeup and hit a changeup, or I'm going to look for a fastball, that's what your plan should be. He does a good job of getting on top. That right hand of that bat, really guiding that bat through. Staying on top of that one.
Rafael Devers has struck out both times he's come to the plate, and this time he gets a base hit. That's going to score a run. Devers drives home Bogaerts from second. Bogaerts hit the double, and Devers delivers the RBI single. That's his 24th ribby of the season. So after a couple of frustrating at-bats, he delivers a big hit.
Did not hit that changeup very hard. Right off the end of the bat, but he got it through the shift. That ball almost didn't make it to Pilar in center field.
So it's 4-1 Boston. Eduardo Nunez had a base hit in the second. Hit a base hit into right field. Playing hit and run as they started Devers. Devers is not a base stealer, but they put him in motion.
Perfect time, Alex Cora using the hit and run right there. Things start to spin out of control. The inning starts to get away from you. You just had a meeting on the mound. You put the hit and run on. Get the infielders moving around.
Popped up. Smoak, first baseman, calling for it. Nunez is retired. That's 2 away. Another hitter out on that front foot, pops it straight up.
He got Nunez last time on a weak fly ball. This time you can see how he just lost everything, all of his power out on that front foot. That's the effect of a very good changeup.
Jackie Bradley Jr.'s 0-for-2 with a strikeout. Goes after the first pitch and hits it a mile high and shallow right. Solarte's out. He gives way to the right fielder Hernandez, and that will end the inning. But the Red Sox get another run in the 6th. Rafael Devers with the RBI single. They've taken a 4-1 lead. They take a 4-1 lead. Blue Jays have managed just 4 hits against David Price. He doesn't look like he's having any problems with his wrist. There was some speculation he had a little carpal tunnel. He was scratched in Wednesday's start in New York, through a side session Thursday, and everything looks to be just fine for Mr. Price. For the Blue Jays, it'll be 4, 5, and 6 in their batting order. Justin Smoak, Kevin Pillar, and Russell Martin. Smoak drew a walk his last time up. One of 2 walks in the inning. Price has walked 3 in the game. Smokey was all over that first pitch fastball and fouled it back.
He's actually hitting for a higher average batting right-handed this year, Justin Smoak, than left-handed. And he was waiting for that fastball down and away.
It's interesting you point that out, because how many times have we seen opposing managers bring a lefty in to turn him around? Against righties, Smoak is hitting .203. Against lefties, .313 at the start of play. But time and time again, we see managers come out, wave their left hand, say, bring me the lefty, and turn Smoak around.
And he comes up with a big base hit. I don't know. This is his natural side on the plate. Might have a little bit more power left-handed. He says he's got a little bit more of an uppercut from the left side, more of a level swing right-handed. I think any way you look at it, he's got 2 good swings. with power. Not a lot of switch hitters over the years have that kind of power.
Well, most recently, I guess you'd say Chipper Jones is the last guy that's had that kind of power. Then, of course, you go back to Eddie Murray, Mickey Mantle, some guys that are Hall of Famers.
Lance Berkman, Mark Teixeira, Reggie Smith. I know Kendrys Morales is up there in career home runs for switch hitters. I believe he's around 30th all time. Switch hitters who hit home runs.
2-2 to Smoak. High drive, left field. Benintendi back. This one's gonna go. Get out of here, ball. God. Justin Smoak. Blue Jays are cutting into that lead for Smoak. Home run number 5, RBI number 20.
Well, that was right on cue. Talking about switch hitters with some power. It looked like a cutter that Price wanted to get in, down and into Smokey, and he just left it out over the plate.
It's a 4-2 ball game. Here's Kevin Pillar. He scored a run his last time up, reached on a fielder's choice.
Justin walked last time up. So let's take a look at all the pitches. Everything away, 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 and then he misses his spot with that cutter. Up and in. For Smoak, number 5 of the season. It's also his 20th RBI. Blue Jays get that run back they gave up at the top of the inning.
Popped up over near the seats. Ramirez will get over there and make the catch in foul ground. Pillar's retired. And Ramirez did a good job of getting well over to the railing and then was able to make the catch.
Showing off his athleticism right there. You got to get over to the wall. Covered a lot of ground. Says, hello, young man.
Carson Smith first up here this afternoon. Now there's a delay here as there's been some knucklehead that ran onto the field and the security has taken care of him, so everybody's just standing by.
That is very unnerving if you're Hanley Ramirez. He came from the first base side. It's very unnerving when you're playing baseball. You're concentrating on the pitch, on the batter, and all of a sudden someone runs right by you.
This 4K broadcast is brought to you by the Samsung QLED TV. See nothing else.
Well, David Price will start to loosen up a little bit as there's been a bit of a delay here.
So while we have a second, let's take one more look at that home run by Justin Smoak. Right down the left field line, high enough, deep enough. Blue Jays get that run right back. He had a home run against the Red Sox here on the 26th. I think that was against Chris Sale. That was his 3rd home run of the season. His last home run was at Minnesota on the 30th.
Smoak was 2 for 2 in that game against Chris Sale, including that home run that came in the 3rd inning. Alex Cora. This is interesting. After that interruption and delay, Cora has come out of the Red Sox dugout, and he's going to take the baseball from David Price and make a pitching change. So Price is out of the ball game. He leaves with a 4-2 lead. Carson Smith will come out. He pitched in the ball game last night. Game. He had a couple of strikeouts, gave up a base hit to Kevin Pillar and a stolen base, but no runs.
Big slider. That's where he gets a lot of those strikeouts. He's averaging 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. Got a couple of right-handers. With that delay as the fan ran out onto the field, that gave Alex Cora a chance to rethink what he wanted to do now with some right-handers coming up. And he said, you know what? Carson Smith is loose. Let's bring him into the ball game right here. Blue Jays have crept within 2.
Saw Cora and Dana Lavangi talking over their next move as they were looking at the matchups from this point forward. Russell Martin is 0 for 1 with a walk. He struck out in the 2nd against Price. So nobody on and 1 out. Smoak with a home run to start the inning has made it a 4-2 ball game. Russ Martin getting his first look at Carson Smith. Smith, as we mentioned, pitched the 11th, but Russell did not play in that game last night.
Had a couple of strikeouts. He threw 20 pitches. So the plan must be, hey, just get us through this inning. Give me 2 outs right here to finish off the 7th.
Curtis Granderson getting loose on the Blue Jays bench. Anthony Alford is the next scheduled batter. He's on deck. Off the plate. You get a steady dose of sliders from Carson Smith.
He's got a good one. They traded for him back in 2016 and then missed a lot of time trying to get back from Tommy John surgery. Missed the rest of 16 in the first half of 2017. Before this year, he had been with the Red Sox organization for 2 years and he only pitched in 11 games.
Off the plate. 3-1 now to Russ Martin. If Martin gets aboard, you can bet Granderson's going to bat for Anthony Alford. Granderson standing in the background. You can see he's ready with bat in hand. Good sinker there from Smith, and it's a full count. John Gibbons done a good job of using his bench players very efficiently this season, and it's always important to give hitters a heads up, even if a veteran like Granderson is the guy you want to hit.
They'll look at the numbers. Obviously, a left-handed batter versus a right-handed pitcher. Determine what they want to do.
Slider pulled to third. Devers rights himself and throws Martin out. 2 away.
You know,
so Alfred will bat now that there are 2 outs. Save Granderson for a situation that might pop up later.
Maybe later on. The Blue Jays have 4 players on their bench now, going with 7 relievers, 4 bench players.
Anthony had an RBI single his last time up. That was his first big league RBI. And it came against David Price. Broken bat. Devers quickly fires and throws it away at first. And it bounces out of play, so Alfred will go to second. Boy, Devers just airmailed the first baseman.
Got under it. That's 10 errors now for Devers over at third base. Routine play. He gets there in plenty of time, and watch his arm action. He gets underneath that ball. No chance for Ramirez to haul that one in. Gets underneath it, and it just takes off. Got to stay on top of that ball. Watch how it gets under. And unfortunately for the Red Sox, there's now a runner in scoring position.
Well, and you got the hot hitter Luke Maile at the plate. Maile has struck out twice, both of those against Price. A high slider from Smith. Bottom of the 6th inning, it's a 4-2 Red Sox lead. Double barrel action for the Blue Jays. Jake Petrichka on the left, send 1-0 on the right. 6th inning, Blue Jays getting near their best part of the game. Off the plate. 2-1 to Maile. Hector Velasquez loosening up for Boston. And you're right, I think they just want Carson Smith to try to get out of this inning.
20 pitches last night. Got to take advantage of it right here. Take advantage of that error.
Two and two now. Blue Jays trying to build on their win last night. They won 5-3 in 12 innings. Slider, and Maile strikes out. The Blue Jays get a run back. Justin Smoak with his 5th home run of the season. David Price is out of the game. Smokey has made it a 2-run ball game. Lots of power as a right-handed hitter. He goes deep against David Price as we set our sights for the 7th.
it's time. That's 6:30 Eastern with Hockey Central pregame with Ron, Nick, Kelly, and Elliott. Then it's Game 1, Las Vegas and Winnipeg. It'll be a full-blown whiteout. The Western Conference Final tonight on Sportsnet and CBC, and we want to wish the Winnipeg Jets lots of luck. But
yes, we do, and that should be a great contest as Las Vegas has had a terrific season and Winnipeg has been great all year. Should be a great matchup. Jake Petrichka is into the ball game, taking over for Marco Estrada. There's a first pitch strike to Christian Vasquez for Petrichka, his 4th appearance.
There are the numbers in 3 games. He last worked on the 10th, an inning and 2/3. That's what the Jays have been able to do. Stretch him, let him finish an inning, give him another inning. He has thrown 4 1/3 innings in those 3 games. Got touched up for a home run by Kyle Seager in his last outing.
The home run by Seager was his 2nd of the ball game. It was a leadoff home run in the 5th. One and 2 to the number 9 hitter, Christian Vasquez. He's 0 for 2.
One thing that he has given the Blue Jays, on top of that length out of the bullpen, a little veteran experience also, and strikeouts. He has struck out at least 1 batter in every one of his appearances.
Ground ball base hit right up the middle as Vasquez gets his first knock of the afternoon. Brock Holt, the veteran utility guy, having a chat with Rafael Devers, who committed his 10th error of the season. And Holt came over for some words of encouragement.
You know,
get it out of your head. Just trust your skills.
We talk about it all the time about having leaders on the team and leadership, players that you respect. When they say something, you listen. I love that. Here's a young player like Devers going through a little bit of a trouble defensively, and a veteran to go over there, put his arm around him, say, look, think about this. That's what leaders do.
Absolutely. And Brock Holt, he's had his issues the last few years. He had concussion issues that really created a lot of doubts in his mind, I'm sure, and he can appreciate what a youngster is going through. So, boy, it's so much better when a player does that to another player as opposed to a coach or a manager. And Devers knows that Holt's thoughts are certainly genuine. He wants to come over and help him out. This is a good mix they have in Boston.
Young players that give you the energy, and then veteran players who give you the experience. Oh yeah, they've got some talented players too.
Yeah, that never hurts. Looks like Brock Holt's in charge of the sunflower seeds as well. A ball and 2 strikes on Mookie Betts. Ground ball in the hole. Urshela has no play. It'll be an infield hit for Betts, his 2nd hit of the ball game. So back-to-back ground ball base hits for the Red Sox here in the 7th. So Petrichka gives up a base hit to Vasquez and an infield hit to Mookie Betts, and John Gibbons has called for the lefty. Aaron Loup will come out of the Blue Jays bullpen to face Andrew Benintendi. 2 on and nobody out. He pitches over 6 innings. He's charged with 4 earned runs on 7 hits. He walked 1 and struck out 5. Biggest inning for Estrada. The problem came in the 3rd inning with 1 out. He gave up double home run, and that's been the majority of the scoring. Jake Petrichka faced 2 batters, gave up a couple of hits, and now he looks to Aaron Loup to bail him out.
Maybe just 1 hitter he's in charge of right here. Loup throwing the ball much better. 15 2/3 innings. Doesn't have a record. You've got a lefty in Benintendi, who hasn't had a lot of luck this season against left-handed pitching.
Benintendi with a 147 average against southpaws, but he is 2 for 4 against Aaron Loup. There go the runners. The throw from Maile and the tag by Martin, and out at third. Piston Vasquez took off for 3rd. Maile made a strong throw, and Martin made a terrific tag.
He was in. I don't know if he was expecting the bunt. The Red Sox cross it up and start the runners. Maile with the throw. You can see Russell getting back over there. Looked like Vasquez was on the base and then off the base. So the Red Sox are going to want to look at this one.
Then he came off, and
but right back on, and they're going to look at it.
Watch Martin's glove. Does he tag him while he's off the base? He comes off the base, and there he tagged him in the helmet. Boy, look at Ed Hickox. You know, oftentimes we're so quick to criticize the umpire, but you cannot be in a better position to make the call at 3rd. Look at Hickox. He's standing right on top of the plate.
You can't miss that one. He was all over that. Look at the eyes down. That might have been a tag there.
There he tags him in the helmet before he gets his hand back on the base.
Well, initially they called him out. It doesn't look like there's enough evidence there to overturn it.
And a call on the field will stand as Vasquez makes his way toward the dugout. Well, that was a curious play. Even when Vasquez broke to 3rd, he kind of took an extra skip before he took off running. But Maile and Martin hook up for the out at 3rd base. Ball and a strike to Benintendi. Loop's got to get this guy. Betts is at 2nd. Got to keep your eye on him as well.
Aaron's got that high leg kick. So get in right behind him like Urshela's doing.
Loop got deep in the kitchen of Benintendi there. It's 2-2 now. Mentioned Benintendi for the season, batting just 147 against lefty pitching.
Here's Gio Urshela right behind Mookie Betts at 2nd base.
An inside move by Loup chased Betts back to 2nd. Betts has 5 steals. He's been caught just once. Benintendi strikes out. Good slider from Loup. Loup gets his man. He gets Benintendi. That's the 2nd out of the inning. And John Gibbons is back out of the Blue Jays dugout. He's already made the call to the pen. Hanley Ramirez is the batter. Betts is at 2nd. Sun Won Oh will come in to try to get out of this 7th inning. At third, Maile behind the plate, and the base runner at second is Christian Vasquez.
Well, watch how quickly Luke Maile gets rid of this ball. Catch fire. And then the catcher for the Blue Jays, Russ Martin, applies the tag on the catcher of the Boston Red Sox. Luke is throwing the ball really well. Came into this game 3 for 12. That'll make it go up. I like the play by Martin at third base. He was in for the bunt and had to backtrack, catch the ball, find the runner, and make the tag.
Sung-Won Oh is making his 19th appearance. Oh pitched the 7th inning. 3 up, 3 down with a couple of strikeouts. Hanley Ramirez, he homered in the 3rd.
Oh's been very efficient his last 2 times out. He had an inning against Seattle, threw 7 pitches, 13 pitches in yesterday's game. So I'm sure they're just asking him to get out of this inning with no more run scoring. His fastball's been a little bit better lately.
The Blue Jays bullpen, 7 innings of relief in last night's game. They allowed just 1 hit, didn't walk a batter, and Axford did walk 1 batter, but he raced him on a double play, and they struck out 4. High pop up. Martin gives way to the shortstop Urshela, and Oh gets out of it. The Red Sox a promising start to the inning, but they leave a base runner. Still a 2-run game. Noon. He goes 5 1/3, throws 93 pitches, charged with 2 earned runs on 5 hits. Justin Smoak connected for a home run in the 6th, and then Pilar was retired on a pop out, and Price was taken out of the ball game. And now it'll be the second reliever to work for Boston, Hector Velasquez, the big righty.
Carson Smith finished off the 6th inning, getting a couple of outs. So Hector Velasquez is 4-0 with a 238 earned run average. Doesn't throw real hard, but he can spot the ball around. Cuts it, fastball, a little split change, a little slider, a little curveball. He's 29 years old. He was signed out of the Mexican League in February of 2017. So he's got some experience. And the Blue Jays will send a pinch hitter up there to open up the 7th inning.
Richard Urania will bat for the number 9 hitter, Gio Urshela. Urshela 1 for 2 in his Blue Jays debut. Urania, a switch hitter. He is 0 for 1 this season. Got into 21 games last year, 68 at bats, hit 206. Fouls it out of play. Urania at AAA Buffalo this season played in just 2 games. He broke his ribs in spring training and started the season on the DL. He chases that high pitch. It's 1-2. Urania, just 22 years old, from the Dominican Republic. Ground ball, base hit. He beat the shift. A leadoff single for Urania. Well, this is when the Blue Jays do their best work, 7th inning or later. That happened yesterday as the bench applauds Urania's pinch hit, base hit. Most runs from the 7th inning on. The Blue Jays lead the majors with 77. Luke Maile hit his home run to tie it in the 7th in last night's game with 2 outs. That was off Chris Sale. And then Maile hit a 2-run home run in the 12th.
You mentioned that Urania hasn't played a whole lot in the major leagues, and they shifted on him. Crossed up the shift and just poked the ball the other way. Good start.
This could be a double play. Bogaerts, Nunez. It is. Hernandez grounds into a double play on the first pitch, and that leadoff single is erased immediately. Second double play turned by Boston this afternoon.
They've made some nice plays tonight. There's a line drive right at the shortstop for an out. Benintendi took away a base hit. The double plays. That one turned nicely. 33rd double play turned by the Red Sox this season.
Josh Donaldson batting now with 2 outs and nobody on. Ground ball. Ramirez falls down. Velasquez is there, and the Red Sox have a very quick inning. A promising start. But then the double play in the groundout will go to the 8th. Boston leads it 4-2. Rogers Blue Jays baseball partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays baseball partnership. Saturday afternoon baseball at Rogers Center. Good crowd on hand. 37,588. Been another good ball game. The Blue Jays trail 4-2. Senwan delivers a first pitch to J.D. Martinez, who fouls out of play. Richard Urania came on as a pinch hitter for the shortstop Giovanni Urshela, and he takes over at short defensively. Urania had a pinch hit, base hit. And Tepera loosening up for the Blue Jays. Pulled foul by Martinez. Joe Kelly, hard throwing righty, starting to loosen up.
Boy, lots happening here in the 8th inning. Both of these managers know how important this inning is. Blue Jays trying to go run prevention. Now in the 8th inning, can't afford to give up too many more.
JD Martinez has a 12-game hit streak. Maile had that go off his catcher's mask. Martinez is 0 for 2 with a walk. He has struck out and walked.
Fastball right off the mask. That'll shake you up, won't it?
It'll clear the cobwebs, that's for sure. The 12-game hit streak is the second longest hit streak active in the majors. Wilson Ramos, the catcher for Tampa Bay, had a 17-gamer going into play today. And Martinez strikes out.
It's time to fire up your senses. Your best experience begins with Broil King, available at your local home hardware. Here's how.
Just a few blocks away from Rogers Center, the Toronto Fire Department, with those beautiful fireboats. Xander Bogaerts got a big double in the 6th inning, came around to score the 4th run for the Red Sox. That's a big run, that extra run in the 6th. Well, I tell you what, this Blue Jays bullpen has really done a great job.
They've been used a lot, but they have answered the call every day. O is working on his 2nd day back-to-back. Tepera's been thrown. He was used in yesterday's game. They gave up 1 hit in 7 innings yesterday.
8 strikeouts, the most in a game so far this season by the bullpen. There's a high pop fly into left field. Alfred coming over. He makes the catch. The Blue Jays bullpen has been terrific. When you look at what they have done as a combined unit, they have been a real bright spot for the Blue Jays so far this season. A .280 earned run average. That's the best in the American League. Better than Houston, the Yankees, the Angels, and the Red Sox.
Yeah, the other teams might get all the publicity and all the write-ups in the paper, but the Blue Jays are the team that's been getting the job done. When I asked the manager about his bullpen, he said, first of all, you have to have good pitchers, and the Blue Jays have had good pitchers, but Gibby's done a good job of working these guys in certain situations, recognizing where O matches up best in the lineup and then putting him in there.
That's a base hit for Devers. His 2nd hit and an RBI single back in the 6th. He drove in Bogaerts. But the bullpen, and we have talked to many members of this bullpen, they have really come together as a unit. They've got great chemistry down there. And the veterans, Clippard, Axford, really responsible for that.
Yeah, and the younger pitchers really appreciate the leadership they're getting from the older relievers, the more experienced relievers.
Eduardo Nunez is 1 for 3 so far. Breaking ball. This is lined foul down the right field line. But this bullpen unit for the Blue Jays, they pull for one another. They work together. We have seen them throughout the course of road trips go out to dinner together. They all hang out together, talk baseball. It's a good unit. The best in the American League. Got off to kind of a mediocre start. He didn't get roughed up, but didn't have real good location or real good crisp snap on his breaking balls, but it's gotten better and better as the season has gone on.
Location has gotten better. He can throw that fastball up or down or hit the corners when he needs to.
There goes the runner, and Nunez strikes out. Another good inning by the bullpen. O has retired 4 of the 5 he's faced. Now time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Cliff Floyd in the Samsung broadcast studio. Kelly making his 17th appearance in this 4-2 ball game. It's the bottom of the 8th inning. The bullpen for Boston has had a rough week. They got roughed up in New York, and they were strapped with the loss in last night's game.
Joe Kelly had a blown save in one of those games in New York, but came back to win that one. He's the setup man in front of Craig Kimbrel. He's got a good arm. Big fastball from Kelly. He was a former starter when he was with the Cardinals and then with the Red Sox, but they transitioned him into the bullpen, and it's worked out for him. He's got some good numbers.
So he will face the meat of the order. Solarte, Smoak, and Pilar. And we have talked about this often. Many times during the course of a season, the save doesn't occur in the 9th. It occurs earlier.
This might be one of them. I thought they might keep Velasquez in there because he looked really good last inning. Gave up a hit, then got the double play, and then the out.
First pitch breaking ball from Kelly to Solarte. Kelly making his 3rd appearance against the Blue Jays this season. He has allowed just 1 hit in his previous 3 innings of work. No walks and a strikeout.
Yeah, he is listed at 6'1", 185 pounds, but he can blow gas. That last pitch was 99 miles an hour. And because he was a former starter, he's got all the pitches that you need.
This is his 16th appearance against the Blue Jays for his career. He made 7 starts against them earlier. But they have had some good outings against Joe Kelly. He's got a .596 career earned run average against the Jays. But they need a base runner. Solarte with a 1-2 count. He tried to check his swing, went too far, 1 away. Drive of the game brought to you by the new 2018 Civic Si. When it leads off, it leads for good.
Speaking of leading off the 6th inning, Justin Smoak is going to wrap this ball out of the ballpark off of David Price, his 5th home run of the season. Got the Blue Jays to within 2 runs this afternoon's drive of the game.
Smoak turns around and bats left-handed for the first time this afternoon. A 100 right down the middle. Hard breaking ball at 91.
When he was a starter, he would throw a lot of pitches, try to work over counts. As a reliever, you can take some of those pitches out and say, okay, you got 1 inning, throw it as hard as you can. You can go fastball, curveball if you want to, like you did right there against Smoak, but you don't have to worry about trying to get through the lineup 3 times.
Just a bit too high. Joe Kelly has made 79 major league starts, a 31-19 record. Pretty impressive. His command was a bit of an issue. He had 176 walks and just 308 strikeouts. Ball as a starter. Hard changeup, missed down and away.
That hasn't been a problem since he has moved into the bullpen this year. He had that blown save last time out, but ended up winning the game. One of the problems was he had 2 walks.
Outside, 3-2. Kelly's first 35 games with the Red Sox were as a starter. He made 25 starts in 2015, had a 10-6 record. But then he began the season making 6 starts in 16, and he's since pitched out of the bullpen. Full count on Smoak. Justin has a home run against Kelly. One of his 3 hits in 10 at-bats. Kelly strikes him out with a good fastball. Back-to-back strikeouts for Kelly here in the 8th.
Yeah, when you throw 100 miles an hour, you can elevate that fastball when you want to. You don't want to get beat by your 2nd or 3rd pitch in a 2-run game, so he just reaches back with a little something extra to pick up his 2nd strikeout of the inning. He and Kimbrel back-to-back. That's a tough 2-0 to try and beat.
Kevin Pillar. 100 once again. You know what? He's not a big guy, not 6'5", 6'6", and it kind of surprises you how hard he throws. And there's not a whole lot of windup. He throws out of the set position. Little flare, that's going to drop for a base hit into right. Kevin Pillar gets a 2-out single.
Super Slow-Mo Cam. Brought to you by Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. The camera reimagined. Available now.
Kevin Pillar is now 8 for 19 against Joe Kelly. And that was a pretty swing. He just took it the other way. Dumped it in front of Mookie Betts. So Russell Martin represents the tying run.
There is a lot of experience the Blue Jays versus Kelly, and I think that's from his days as a starter. Russell Martin has faced him a few times. 23 at bats.
He's 6 for 23 with a home run. Curtis Granderson has grabbed a bat. He's on deck now. If Martin can reach, Granderson will hit for Alfred. Tepera was throwing earlier. Then when Pilar reached base, Tyler Clippard jumped up and started to throw. Joe Kelly had a blown save but picked up the win on Thursday in New York. 1-1 to Martin. There goes Pilar, and that's strike 2 with a breaking ball. Pilar steals second, his 8th stolen base of the season.
Picked on a good pitch. Got a good breaking ball. Kelly not really paying attention to him. He just kept going. And he steals it without a throw.
Kelly is ahead. A ball and 2 strikes. This is the 5th game these two teams have played this season. Boston won 2 of 3 the first time they were here back in April. Changeup at 87. That used to be a pretty decent fastball.
Yeah, that used to be an average fastball back in the day. That's his changeup. There was some confusion, I think, before that pitch between Kelly and Vasquez. Kelly was telling him what he wanted to throw. They didn't give a sign. He threw his changeup, and Vasquez went out there to talk to him. Ever since Pilar stole second base, a little confusion between pitcher and catcher, what they wanted to use, what signs they want to use now.
Full count to Russell Martin. With Pilar at second, Blue Jays trail by 2. Martin strikes out. Kelly ends up striking out the side despite giving up a base hit to Pilar. We'll go to the 9th. Boston has a 4-2 lead. Ryan Tepera coming on.
Presented by Honda. The Honda Checkered Flag event is back. It's the best time to find a Honda you'll love.
That looks like a lot of fun on a Saturday afternoon. It's probably a little bit cold, but that's why he's got that wetsuit on. All right, everybody's anxious for summer here in Toronto. Brian Tepera will be the fourth reliever to work for the Blue Jays here this afternoon. He'll come on to start the ninth inning.
This will be his 21st appearance of the season. That will tie him with Tyler Clippard for the most games in the American League. He's 3-1 with a .289 earned run average. Usually see him in the eighth inning. But the Jays need a shutdown inning. See if they could try and win it in the bottom of the ninth. Ryan pitched in yesterday's game. An inning, had a strikeout.
Jackie Bradley Jr. takes strike 2. Again, the bullpen has really stepped up here this afternoon. Jake Petrichka gave up a couple of hits, but Aaron Loop and Senwan got him out of the jam in the 7th. Had a good inning in the 8th. Now Ryan Tepera. Tepera thought that was strike 3, and I can see why. Looked like it caught the inside corner.
He looked like he was walking off the mound thinking it was the first out of the inning.
Two and 2 to Bradley. Comes right back with a better fastball at 96, and Bradley strikes out.
Six innings for Marco Estrada today. 2 innings for Petrichka, Loop. Tepera starts off his inning with a strike, and that's the 4th strikeout by the relievers this afternoon.
The catcher Christian Vasquez had a leadoff single off Petrichka in the 7th. He was at second base and took off for third in an apparent steal attempt and was thrown out by Maile. Again, we talk about this bullpen and how they feed off one another. They have set the bar very high for themselves, and they continue to respond very well. The closer for the Red Sox is Craig Kimbrel. He is standing by, ready to come in to wrap this game up for the Red Sox. He has suffered a loss here earlier in the season. Curtis Granderson hit a walk-off home run off of him. In fact, both of the Blue Jays' wins this season against Boston have been of the walk-off variety. Luke Maile did it last night. Granderson did it earlier.
Home runs. It's what they do. They hit their share of home runs, and they hit home runs late too. Never out of a game if you've got guys who could knock the ball out of the ballpark.
Blue Jays have hit 17 home runs from the 7th inning on. Vasquez gets a piece of it. A ball and 2 strikes. Gets him with a slider. So Tepera strikes out both batters he's faced so far.
Such a good pitch. A couple of fastballs to get to strike 2, then that slider off the plate.
That's 6 strikeouts for the Blue Jays bullpen in this ball game. Blue Jays bullpen first in the American League in earned run average. Mookie Betts, he's had a 2-hit game, 2 for 4. He was robbed of a base hit by Russell Martin in the 5th inning on a nice play near the line at third. Ball on a strike to leadoff man.
Just trying to stay away from him right now. He can turn on anybody's fastball. So I think you have to keep the ball away from him. He's only hit 1 home run to right field. Most of his home runs, 10 of his 13 home runs, he has pulled to left field. So they're going to stay away from him.
Two balls and a strike to Mookie Betts. Betts' average sits at .351. Three and one now. Third and final game of this series will take place tomorrow afternoon. Drew Pomeranz will start for Boston against Joe Biagini for the Blue Jays. Pomeranz will be the 3rd lefty the Blue Jays will face in this series, and they'll face a 4th on Tuesday night in New York. Jason Vargas will pitch for the Mets. Biagini was down in the Blue Jays bullpen today just in case they needed a longer relief outing. 3-2. Tepera held the baseball, which suggests he might have second thoughts about that pitch he was about to deliver.
That looked like the first time in this at bat that the catcher set up inside. And maybe they said, you know what, maybe that's not a good idea. So Tepera just held the ball.
Fair ball. Down the left field line. Alfred over to play it back in, but it'll be a stand-up double to Mookie Betts. There is no one in baseball that handles that inside fastball as well as Mookie Betts.
Yeah, and he's hitting .328 with 2 strikes. Everything was away. Watch Luke Maile set up inside. It's a good fastball. It's hard fastball inside, but he can turn on anybody's good fastball. Keeps it fair down the left field line by Russell Martin. Between Russell and the bag, his 2nd double of the afternoon.
His 3rd hit of the game, and he came into this game batting .371 over his last 9 games, and he adds a 3-hit game onto that resume. But most hitters that have to hit that ball have to get the head out and they'll pull it foul. But because Betts is so good with his hands, he can keep that line drive fair down the left field line. Andrew Benintendi, he's had 2 hits as well. He goes after the first pitch, and that's going to get down, and Betts is going to score easily. Mookie Betts and Andrew Benintendi again with back-to-back hits. They did it in the 3rd with back-to-back doubles, and they've done it here in the 9th with a double and an RBI single.
They have half the hits of the Red Sox today. That was hit number 12 in the 6th between Betts and Benintendi. Cashes him in for the 2nd time. Watch how he can handle that inside pitch. That ball looked like it cut just a little bit. He was still able to stay inside that ball. Hit it on a couple of hops into right field.
So Benintendi drives in Betts for a second time. 2 RBIs for Benintendi, puts him at 20. The Red Sox coming into this game have won 13 of their last 17 games here at Rogers Center. Blue Jays just haven't been able to stem the tide of this offense. Jerry Meo's down at first, calls Hanley Ramirez for the swing. We mentioned at the start of the show, right-handed starters against this Boston lineup for the season are 1-15. And they're about to go 1-16. Marco Estrada is the pitcher of record for the Jays.
That's odd because they've got so many right-handed hitters. You would think that with right-handed pitching, they'd have some trouble. Betts, Ramirez, Martinez, Bogaerts, Nunez, Vasquez, all right-handed hitters.
They are good right-handed hitters. The Red Sox lead the majors in batting average against right-handed pitching, 277. They also lead in on-base percentage, slugging, and OPS against right-handers. Mookie Betts sets the tone for this offense. 3 more hits today. He's scored a pair of runs. He's now scored 41 runs for the season. Mookie Betts leads the majors in runs scored. He's going to be very, very good when he grows up. What a terrific player.
Found him in the 5th round. He was a second baseman. Remember when he first came up, he was playing second? They put him in center field and then shifted him over to right field.
1-2 to Hanley Ramirez. There goes Benintendi. Strike 3 called. Ramirez is out on strikes, but the Red Sox get a big insurance run here in the 9th. Mookie Betts with a 2-out double. Benintendi knocks him in. The closer coming into the ball game, Craig Kimbrel, trying to protect this 3-run lead. Ninth inning, and you take a look at where Kimbrel stands on the all-time save leaderboard. Mariano Rivera headed to the Hall of Fame with 652. He's first. Tom Henke is 22nd, and Kimbrel is 27th, closing in on Doug Jones.
His first full year in the big leagues with the Braves in 2011, he had 46 saves. Then 42, 50, 47, 39. I mean, you get the picture, right? He was with San Diego for a season, and the Red Sox got him from San Diego at the start of the 2016 season. He just keeps saving ball games. Good fastball, hard slider.
Curtis Granderson is going to pinch hit for Anthony Alford. Granderson had a walk-off home run against Kimbrel in the previous series between these two ball clubs. Kimbrel fell behind 2-0, and Granderson took a shot at a fastball and connected. First pitch breaking ball. Granderson for the season batting .276. Granderson has been their best pinch hitter. He's 3 for 7 with a couple of RBIs.
He's a great fastball hitter, so Kimbrel starts him off with a couple of breaking balls. He was a former third-round draft pick of the Atlanta Braves.
Breaking ball, bounce to the mound. Kimbrel underhands to Ramirez. One away.
They picked him out of Wallace State Community College. Now that's scouting. Be able to find a guy there, and then this guy's going to go to the Hall of Fame.
Yes, he is. He's a power pitcher with control. Fastball, hard breaking ball. Granderson grounds out to the pitcher. Luke Maile has struck out 3 times in this ball game. Twice against Price, once against Carson Smith. 5-2 Boston. And breaking ball got away from Kimbrel. Kimbrel is now 29 years old. This is his 9th season in the majors.
He'll be 30 in a couple of weeks. He's got a 91% save rate, which is outstanding. I mean, this guy very rarely blows saves.
97 with the fastball. Kimbrel's ahead 1-2. But first and foremost, he throws so many strikes. And because he throws hard, hitters have to start their swing early. And when they start their swing early, he throws the breaking ball.
He came over from the Padres and had a little rough introduction to the American League. Then started using that breaking ball more.
It's all about adjustments, and Kimbrel makes some great adjustments. He strikes out Maile, who strikes out for the 4th time this afternoon. And the Blue Jays are down to their final out. Country hardball there. Uses that fastball, goes upstairs for the 2nd out of the inning. Two outs. Richard Urania had a pinch hit, base hit. His last time up back in the 7th, he was pinch hitting for the shortstop, Giovanni Urshela. Look at that breaking ball.
You don't see that hard breaking ball every day. And Urania had fastball on his mind. When you have fastball in your mind, that's what's going to happen. You're going to swing at that hard breaking ball.
That's the ball game. Kimbrel comes in and retires the side in order with a couple of strikeouts. He picks up the save for Kimbrel. That's save number 11. David Price with the win, his third win of the season. Big game for the top of the order. Mookie Betts and Andrew Benintendi combined for 6 hits in this ball game.
Yes, couldn't slow him down. Right when you think you have him right there, they bust out. Blue Jays have a chance to win the series tomorrow. And if you're going to do that, you're going to have to contain those top 2 guys in that lineup.
Well, they have split the first 2 games of this 3-game series. Joe Biagini will go up against Drew Pomerantz tomorrow afternoon. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Here's Blue Jays Central with Jamie, Joe, and Cliff.